Hi, everybody. Here in Farfield's Farm in Afton, Virginia, and I'm lucky to be speaking with Lisa Heenan, who is one half of Heenan Doherty. Can you tell me a little bit what is Heenan Doherty, and really they're better known as the Regrarians?
So Darren is a farm designer and has been for over 20 years, and I was a full-time mother and doing acting, singing on the side, and we wanted to allow opportunities for myself and for our children within the business. So we decided that we'd do a media arm, we'd create a media arm, because our eldest daughter is a multi-award winning filmmaker, and so we created this media arm, and the latest project is Polyfaces, the film.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about that project and where it came from.
So we had followed Joel's work for years, and in 2007 we did a round the world tour teaching workshops with what Darren is known for: key line, drought proofing, fireproofing, water storage, and we brought together holistic management, Kirk Gadzia doing holistic management, Dr. Elaine Ingham doing soil biology, Darren doing key line, and we asked Joel would he come and do a workshop as part of that series, so that a farmer or someone who wanted to farm could come to that series and get a huge amount of knowledge. And Joel said yes, and so then we started working with him, brought him to Australia every year at least once since 2009, and we've taken him to Europe. And in 2011, Darren had an idea to do a TV series on Joel, and I said I think it should be a documentary, because it's 90 minutes, you know, people will commit to watching that and they can get inspired and get great information. So that was how it started.
So obviously this is Polyface Farm here in Virginia with Joel Salatin, but what's the bigger goal and the bigger mission of the film that you're hoping to communicate through their story?
We see lots of amazing farms around the world, and we felt like Polyface really was a great example of multi-generational farming family. There's 4 generations on that farm. They don't use any chemical fertilizers. The natural functions of the animals basically regenerate the landscape. They just move them regularly, you know, they shelter them, they feed them, they water them. I mean, they basically, just following their natural functions. An animal in nature moves and needs water and needs food and shelter, so they just follow that natural function. And the fact that they only feed 3 hours within their food shed, we just thought they were great examples of how to farm regeneratively, regenerate the landscape, the local economy, the community, the health of their customers, and of course regenerate the soil. So that's pretty much the message that we want people to see, that we can turn this around very quickly. We can sequester carbon, we can regenerate our landscapes and our health and our local economy and our communities by going back to the way that we used to live, when we only ate local and in season and from our local businesses.
Yeah.
I mean, I say to people, if you support producers and businesses that have the health of the planet and all of its inhabitants as their main priority, not only does life become very simple, because it just cuts out all those shops you don't have to go to anymore, but you are actually being a part of the solution.
Right.
And if we all become conscious consumers and decide from this moment that every dollar I spend, I'm actually going to think, who am I supporting? Am I supporting someone who's destroying the planet, or am I supporting someone who's helping to heal the planet?
Mm-hmm. And the sort of narrative structure of Polyfaces is really exciting, because the farm itself is Polyface, but the name of the movie is Polyfaces, and it really tracks a lot of different stories within the farm. It really goes into the human social side of what a farm is and all the people involved, the family histories of the Salatin family, multiple generations, people who work from the Salatins as delivery people, people who are interns. But I think the really intergenerational part and the focus on women was something that I think was really special and important in this film. Can you say a little more about that?
When we talked initially about the project, I said to Darren that I really wanted to focus on the women. I mean, Joel is obviously the face of Polyface Farm, and he's an author. He's written 8 books, and he does a lot of presenting all over the world. But the reality is that it's a team and a community that support the farm. So I wanted to show the women who are involved, and I've felt like I was an invisible wife. My husband's a high-profile farm designer, and I have felt invisible many times. And so I jokingly sort of started this Invisible Wives Club years ago. And I asked Therese Salatin to join that club. And she had told me about how she had felt at some things where she just felt like she was not there, totally invisible. So I said to her that I felt it was really important that her voice be heard, and I did have to ask her a few times. She said no quite a few times, and I just kept gently, nudging, please, because it is important.
Right. And Joel's mother is also featured and really sort of sets the frame for the whole story, I think.
I mean, Lucille was always a very strong, and still is a very strong woman. I mean, when she was at university, she wouldn't join a sorority because she said she didn't want to sit around and gossip or talk about clothes or, she started a newspaper. I mean, she,
yeah.
She was a woman who was really convicted to making a positive, whatever the word is.
Contribution.
Yeah, contribution. A positive contribution to giving back to the community.
Right.
From a very young age.
Right. I think it just sort of goes to show that you may have this sort of notable figure who may be male, female, but they're not islands. They're systems of people, and there's lots of people generationally in their family that help them be that success and help them communicate that message. And you have that story with you. You guys are traveling all the time with the work that you do through Heenan and Doherty, and it's a very unconventional life, and it's a lot of work to be on the move 3/4 of the year, and living in different countries and traveling and consulting all the time. So I think it's a nice way to sort of communicate that it's not about heroic leaders, certain people. It's about systems of support, and even the farm itself. Polyface is only successful because it's been supported for 30 years. It's famous now, but there were even before his father, running this farm, and if he hadn't had people supporting him back in the 70s and 60s, there would be no Polyface now. So it's
exactly. I mean, that's where we're all. I mean, I just said to someone recently, because they said that they saw the film and they loved it and they want to support us, and I said, I think at this point in time we really have to come together and realise that we are a global village. I mean, we travel all over the world all the time, so we have friends that are family to us, and so I feel that connectedness, like it is a global village. We are a global village, and we need to come together now to support each other, and we can do it. I really am totally positive that we can do it.
Mm-hmm. And so I was fortunate enough to get to see the film this week at a screening because I'm at a workshop with Lisa and Darren this week, but it's not been released yet. But it's already been accepted as a potential contender for the Academy Award. So tell a little bit about that story, because that's really exciting and a lot of work for you to get it through that process.
Yeah, it has been a huge amount of work, and I'm very grateful that we qualified and that we are on that list of 134 documentaries that they're voting for right now. So on December 1st we find out if we get through the first round of 15, and then fingers crossed we get into that, and then they get voted again, and then it goes down to 5. So I mean, my plan, as soon as we decided to do this film, I said to Darren, it's got to win an Oscar, because that way we can fast track this information very quickly and very widely. So it's been 4 years and a lot of effort, but I think that we've definitely got a chance to get a nomination, definitely. And I'm visualising holding that Oscar in my hand. So,
Well, if people right now are interested, you can go see the trailer right now online at polyfaces.com. Is that the website?
Yeah.
If you find that you're excited about the message in the film and Lisa's work, you can also tweet about it. We're still looking for as much support, because to get to that sort of round of 15, you need to build some buzz. And so the next couple of weeks are pretty critical around that process.
Yeah. We also have screenings. So the LA premiere, or the World Theatre premiere, is in LA from December 11th. There's 4 screenings a day for a week, and Joel will be at 4 screenings on December 11th. And then in New York on December the 18th, he'll be at 4 screenings, and that's running for a week there too. And all the information is at www.polyfaces.com. But yeah, if you see that, watch the trailer and share it and tweet about it. We're just trying to create a really big buzz so that it's in the minds of people who look at these films and vote on what gets through.
It's a really exciting project, and grateful that I got to hear about it this week from you. We'll be talking about it with my networks for certain. And you've already got another project that you're beginning to work on as well back home in Australia.
We have a beautiful story about a young Indigenous man going back to his homeland, his culture, and he wants to really help his family, his friends, his students with their health, because there's a high rate of obesity and diabetes in Aboriginal people in Australia, and he wants to find out why, and he wants to look at their Indigenous foods and how they were like medicine and still could be like medicine for them. And yeah, it's going to be a beautiful documentary. So we started filming that about a month ago.
Fantastic. Great. Lisa, thank you very much for taking some time to chat with me today.
Thank you.
Thank you for your work over the last 4 years in putting this film together, and I wish you much luck in the next couple of weeks as the nomination process is underway. Either way, it is an incredible piece of work, and if you're a little bit familiar with Polyfaces Farm or Polyface Farm, I think you're really going to enjoy the opportunity to really see up close, very up close, the work of the Salatin family and all the people that work with them. Thanks again.
Thank you.